right, here we are. Another day, another stream. Monday Night Football. And boy, was it a fun one. We had the Steelers. We had the Dolphins. Are you excited? This game was one of those games that you can skip, do literally anything else, and then you join the Hunnaball stream to find out what happened afterwards, because this was not a fun watch. And, you know, the box scores don't actually end up looking too bad for either quarterback. I mean, Tua ended up 22 for 28, 253 and 2 touchdowns and a pick. The problem is, most of that was in the fourth quarter. As you can see, Miami scored 3 points through 3 quarters. And then, you know, it felt like they were pouring it on. It was 12. John's here. That was such a boring game. No one's going to disagree with you, John. Let me turn my music down here quick. But yeah, you know, I feel bad for anyone that was really waiting for that game from a fantasy perspective, unless you started Darren Waller, which if you didn't, what's wrong with you? Clearly that was a must-start play right there. Devon Achane did okay, but let's face it, if you needed 25 points out of him, tonight was not your night. It was cold. It looked cold. Man, just thinking about the game, my hands are getting chilly. I wore a hoodie indoors just cuz. It looked cold. Every time someone exhales, you can see the exhaust, as it were. It was a tough watch, and it's tough to really run through some notes, but I am going to. I took some notes, and I wanna share them. But we got John here. Anyone else here? Drop a like in case you forgot, to the Hunnaball stream post Monday Night Football. Let me just get situated here with the music, and then we'll be ready to roll. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a cool Monday. Shoot. It's not a holiday, but Christmas is coming up, so hey. Christmas. All right, there it is. Cool. Now we're ready to go. Or whatever holidays you celebrate. I just realized that I just, you know, got into that whole dialogue. Anyways, that one touchdown catch and run by DK was cool. Threw Miami defenders around like ragdolls. That was a sick play. That was a sick play. We will definitely get into DK Metcalf, who honestly, considering he only had 3 catches for 55 yards, felt like one of the big stars of this game. Felt like when he needed to make a big play, he did, although he only had 3 catches. And that touchdown more or less buried Miami. I mean, at that point, the game was 21-3, and there was really no coming back from that. And DK Metcalf just outmanned him. So we got Meep here. Miami, what happened? Are we really going to kick Miami while they're down? The dream's dead, guys. We had hope. We had hope for this Miami team to do something, to be a fun story, to end up with a better record than the Chiefs. Now that could still happen. But I'm disappointed. I really thought this Miami team had more in them. And I think the main story is going to be just the lack of thereof coaching. But we got Chard win yawn. Didn't watch much of this one. Steelers 9-8 out in the wild card. Yeah, well, 1-2 over these last 3 games. Anything is possible. Sounds like not a lot of people watched or enjoyed this one, so we're not going to have too much to discuss here, but we got Hunna's Hill later. Yeah, so some notes that I wanted to bring up. First of all, Darren Waller's sick. He's back. He had some sick catches, 2 touchdowns. His first of which I'm not going to play, was awesome. It was a straight mossing, which was good because Miami needed to score. And Tua, you know, he put some good passes out there. Tua's one to dunk on. He doesn't play well in the cold. He doesn't play well under pressure. He doesn't play well when the other team is good. A lot of caveats with Tua, but you know, that fourth quarter, if you can remove the first 3 quarters of the game, Tua did pretty okay. He held onto the ball way too long, though, and you know, the biggest note, the biggest takeaway is just how Miami finished this one. Miami gave up, and the season's over. It's been a tough one. Miami gave up as a 6 and 7 win team. So I don't know. I've just never seen a team run the game clock all the way to 0, or run the play clock all the way to 0 when they're down by 2 or 3 scores with like 4 minutes to go. I've never seen that before. It just feels like, hey, let's get some reps out there. Hell, if you don't want to play, get Quinn Ewers out there, Tua. Get Zach Wilson out there. Let's see what the other QBs in this room have, because there just wasn't enough there. Not enough fire. So Miami did freeze up. And the game went by really quick, John. We're starting to stream. I normally expect the benchmark for these streams to start around 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 West, obviously. And, you know, we're not even there yet. This game ended at like 11 Eastern. So, you know, a lot of people got to go to bed early. Shoot. A lot of people probably went to bed after the 3rd quarter. And More power to you. We got to talk about this game, though, because, you know, it was a primetime game that happened. A little congested. Might be getting sick. I'm sick of the Giants, that's for sure. We also had 4 Connor Hayward tush pushes, one of which was for a touchdown, I guess. I mean, any Jalen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell fantasy owner is not happy about that one. I am getting sick. It's tough, man. It's tough, you know, going through this game and not just talking about fantasy, because that's just, you know, it's a fantasy letdown. That's what we got. Game went by super quick. No one really did that excellent. Did Jalen Waddle have a catch? He had 2 for 26. Like, I watched all of this game and it was just like, just a blur. You blink and then it's like, oh, someone scored. Oh, Marcus Valdez-Scantling scored. Of course he did. Oh, Connor Hayward, tush push, cash. You know, and then the DK Metcalf touchdown was the only, like, breath of life in this game, and that's why he's on the thumbnail. DK Metcalf, yeah. Don't worry, John's got an easy win against 9 next week. 9 is for real, John. What are you talking about? 9 has arrived. Is that not the vibe right now in Minnesota? Like, we got our guy, we got our quarterback. 9 is awesome. We definitely got to do this. So I couldn't watch the game. How did Miami score 12 points in a quarter? 2 touchdowns, 2 missed 2-point conversions. At least one of them, Tua threw it away. So, not exactly how you want to close that game out. But hey, you know what? That's okay. One of the cooler moments I want to bring note to. The on-field cameras and microphones for Monday Night Football have been one of the better parts of the broadcast this season. They did something different, or maybe I'm just paying more attention, but they have microphones right next to the action. You can hear everything that's going on. And I think Monday Night Football and ESPN, even though we hate Disney, rightfully so, they put out way more cameras than most broadcast houses, right? So there was a funny moment where I think it was the DK Metcalf touchdown. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was MVS. Either way, Aaron Rodgers is walking by the camera, and you know he just wants to say something. Because, again, the mics are so good, the camera's right there. If he says something, it will get picked up and relayed to the rest of the nation. So Aaron Rodgers could go on a little spiel, be like, yeah, ivermectin. He wanted to say something, and I thought for a second, why don't more players do that? Why don't more players, like, you know, talk through the touchdown, be like, that was sick, and then go to the locker room? You know what I mean? That crossed my mind. And thankfully, apparently Jalen Ramsey was thinking the same thing, because later on in the game, Jalen Ramsey quotes, I'll quote him now, he weak as fuck. He said that after, I think, Jalen Waddle dropped a 4th down catch. Maybe it was after the 2-point. Jalen Ramsey was talking his talk right at the camera. And I thought that was cool. Now, that's where we're at. We are 7 minutes into this stream, and I'm talking about the broadcast quality. That's how much there is to discuss here. And I have a lot to say about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. But, yeah, and Adam Thielen almost messed up an onside kick. That was funny. You want to know how urgent Miami was? Check out this last drive they had, where they're down 2 scores with 2 minutes left on the clock. They run it. 2-minute warning, 6-yard pass. I want to say, yep, inbounds, then a sack, and then a no huddle and incompletion. And then there it is, a delay of game, down 2 scores. I understand the game's over, but a delay of game just really shows you don't really care about the game in front of you. And it's tough, man. It's tough because Tua, hate him or love him, he's been on a pretty hot streak. He's been steadily moving up the Hunnah's Hill. He's in meh. He's right next to Brock Purdy, the $1 Million Man, JD5, Bryce Young. Guys who are probably better, honestly. But I was riding this Tua high. I was having fun. Yeah, why not? Let's play in Jerusalem. And now I just feel stupid. Now I feel dumb for believing in this Miami team. For Hunnah's picks, I picked Miami plus 5.5. I thought it was a lock. And sure enough, I was wrong. Way off, actually. Stoner Cat's here. 9 is good. JJ McCarthy's not. There we go. 3 camps for Vikings fans. 1 saying he played the worst teams in the league, still a bust. 1's cautiously optimistic. 1 is all in. I'm the cautious one. I'm all in. What's up, hon? I didn't catch the game, but not surprised. Can't wait for the Steelers to be bounced automatically. Plus, rip the water animals. Rip the water mammals. Yes. There we go. I like that. Yeah, that's the real crux of it. Not a good night for fantasy players. I did like the Steelers alternates. They've worn those like 100 times, but they are still cool. I think that's the first time they've bust those puppies out this season. Yeah, the Steel City. Not a lot Yeah, man. All right, I want to talk about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman though, because this is actually worth noting. I don't watch a lot of games with sound, so maybe I'm a little biased to talk about the primetime crews. You know, your Chris Collinsworth, your Mike Tirico, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Al Michaels, who's been just so bad this year, Kirk Herbstreit, all the main primetime guys. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have phoned it in this season like none other. And to be honest, I'm starting to think it's kind of cool, kind of funny. They were so sick of this season, so sick of this game. It was the same exact vibe that they had when the Bengals played the Broncos at Mile High or whatever, Empower Field at Mile High. When they played them, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman by the fourth quarter just like, yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. And then they just start riffing. And the funny thing about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman is they are not good at riffing. And Troy Aikman will start like humming show tunes. It's like he literally started singing. And Joe Buck was like, well, I guess let's just move on from that. He didn't know what to say. Troy Aikman thought they were going to go out into a cappella, and Joe Buck had to get in this way. It was a really awkward moment. There was another moment where Troy Aikman, he went, and I mixed the two up. They feel so similar to me. They've been attached together their entire careers, it feels like. It feels like Joe Buck played back in the 80s Cowboys. They've been together for so long. But Troy Aikman, they're talking about Devon Achane, and Troy Aikman goes on a way too long soliloquy about how Devon Achane, he's like, yeah, everyone, when he came in the league, everyone thought it was A-Chain. And then he came out and told everyone that it was actually pronounced A-Chan. And, you know, Joe, I think I prefer A-Chain. It just sounds, you know, better. Right? And then it just stopped. The story just ended. And that was it. That was Troy Aikman's just stream of consciousness. Hey, Troy, the only person that's allowed to go on random tangents in the sports community space is right here, Hunnaball. Troy Aikman's not allowed to riff. He's not allowed to have fun. But then this is the moment that kind of sold me on it a little bit. Again, these guys, the entire fourth quarter, I honestly think listening to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman just figure out what to say was much more interesting than this game, which is ironic because the fourth quarter was the only like breath of life this game had, and that was when they were kind of giving up, along with the Dolphins offense, by the way. But there was a moment where there was a like guy dressed like a hog or a pig. He had like a pig hat. I want to say like I think it was like a pig thing. Pig hat, pig arms, hooves, whole thing, and like a bunch of Steelers stuff. You know, like some sort of like Steelers pig mascot. And they show him, and it was just a funny moment because Joe Buck is like, yeah, there he is. Didn't really know what to say. And then Troy Aikman just kind of sits there for a good 10 seconds. He's like, well, you did it, buddy. You got on TV. Let's move on. You know, it just a lot of just trails off. So my takeaways tonight are more about ESPN, Monday Night Football, and the commentary crew than the actual teams that played on the field, because let's be honest, NFL, all these teams, it's really fun getting to know every team and talking about each of them relatively equally. Let's be honest, no team that played tonight is going to be in any important game this year. Come on, let's be real. If the Steelers win a playoff game, would we not all be shocked? They're fine. Aaron Rodgers, who's the same age as Troy Aikman, basically. Aaron Rodgers, good night. 23-27, like, good game. They ran the ball well. In the cold, too. In the cold. So, I just thought that this was a weird one. Reminded me of the afternoon stream. Yeah, we got Hank here who changed his picture to, I'm assuming, Tyler Shuck. Nick Wright went on a tangent about how much he hates the Chargers today. Yeah, I saw. I very much followed. We got Brady here. What's up, man? I very much followed the Nick Wright content today. It was fun. It was a good moment. Tirico Collinsworth commentary yesterday was terrible. There was a point where Tirico said going for field goals like politically correct, and it was like 5 seconds of dead air. Reminded me of the afternoon stream. Yeah, no, exactly. They like at this point, these commentators have said what they have to say. And these are guys that have been in the industry forever. I'm not saying we need to fire everyone, turn the industry on its side, but like, it just kind of feels like, and Al Michaels is the guy. We haven't given Al Michaels the criticism that he has warranted this season. Man, every time, again, I don't like watch a ton of these games with sound. I'll usually end up watching Thursday Night Football out, so I actually don't hear it too often. When I hear Al Michaels narrate like the big clips after the fact, you can't even believe it. You can't even believe that a human being is watching this unfold. Game-winning field goals, Al Michaels, and the kick is hooking left. and the Dolphins win, or whatever. I mean, the Dolphins, but like, he'll just float something and he'll just trail off. All these guys trail off. I think what it is these commentators are probably spending a lot of time in break rooms, a lot of times in team meetings, a lot of dead time. I feel like these commentator types have, especially retired players. They don't want to work 40 hours a week. So what are they doing? They're human beings. They're probably just scrolling like the rest of us. They're probably just scrolling, right? Or tweeting or, filming a podcast or something. I'm not saying that commentating is easy work, but what I'm saying is these guys probably have a little more free time, and once you're 15 weeks into the season, you don't have a ton to say, and they're just trailing off. Everybody's getting a little more ADHD. It's getting fun. It's becoming cool now. It's becoming cool to be ADHD. Or maybe that's just me talking. Hunter, speaking of announcers, what are your thoughts on Joe Davis as an NFL commentator? I think he's pretty solid given his forte of the sport. Man, just knows how to talk. I'm sure I like, the network makes it a lot easier. Let me look this up. Joe Davis. I'm sure I've heard him, right? Unless he's like strictly college. Oh, this guy. Wait. No, this isn't the same guy. Never mind. I have no clue. I don't watch, guys, man, I don't watch baseball. Oh no, he's in with Greg Olson. Oh, then I'm sure he does a good job. I'm sure he does. I'm sure this fella does a good job. I couldn't name him. Honestly, I feel like broadcast houses, as I keep saying, networks, should do a better job kind of floating the on-air talent. But again, it's about the game, not about the commentators. So they're not making a big thing. That's why they're not on the screen most of the time. Al Michaels just wants to be on his couch, drinking a beer and watching the game from there, man. I get it. So step down. Move on. Give someone else a shot. Let Hunnaball commentate Sunday Night Football. That would be electric. We all know it. But yeah, so these old geezers are running out of gas, and I think that's a really important just note to have, especially when Aaron Rodgers plays in a football game. Other notes, Jonnu Smith, one of the coolest touchdowns of the night, which is saying almost nothing. But Jonnu Smith takes a handoff, as you can see, rushing, takes a handoff, goes around the outside, and just straight up just gasses it. Just sprints straight forward. And everybody on the field, and probably in the stadium, was like, wow, gosh, Jonnu Smith got there quick. I didn't expect Jonnu Smith to be that fast. I thought it. Seemed like the entire Miami defense thought it, so the entire planet must have thought it. So we do need new commentators. I agree, man. I think it's overdue. It's long overdue. But that's my little rant into the void. I feel like if there's something to talk about the medium rather than the actual content. Yeah, so I think from a Miami perspective, the main question is, what do you do with Mike McDaniels? What do you do with Tua? They're stuck with Tua, right? Arthur Smith special. Yeah, seriously. That's his boy. They're stuck with Tua for another year, I believe. I feel like we look at Tua's contract every time they play in prime time, and I'm almost certain he's got about one more year of at least guaranteed, like, can't cut him money. And then after that, it gets a little easier. With Mike McDaniels, I think the pattern has become just crystal clear. And I don't want to be that guy who pokes holes in teams that win games. But if we're being honest, I'd say an overwhelming theme of Mike McDaniel's coaching tenure has been losing to above average and good teams. Mike McDaniels looks awesome against the bad teams. He beats up on the Falcons and the Commanders and the Jets. Maybe not the Commanders as much, but you get what I'm saying. And the Bills, apparently. This is the one like example that goes right against my argument. I can recognize they did beat the Bills. Bills are spotty. This season's been weird. That's a one-off thing. I would argue over the past 3 seasons, Mike McDaniels has significantly struggled to beat contending teams. And we saw that again tonight. Again, they might beat Cincy because Cincy's awful right now. But Tampa, I don't think so. New England, I don't think so. And that's not to say this season's a failure or the Miami Dolphins are bad. It's just to say that they've become pretty predictable. You get what the Dolphins are. They're the perfect middle-of-the-road team. And that's fine, all things considered. Miami's kind of had a tough decade. I don't think they obviously haven't been to a Super Bowl in a long time. When is the last, great season the Dolphins had? Because 2023 wasn't that. What was the last, really great season Miami had? Maybe I'm blanking. Was it the Wildcat year? Let's look at Miami's recent records. Obviously, again, in 2023, they had a really good record, but it ended up not really mattering. They played a road playoff game. Great, I look at Miami. It's, the Hurricanes come up. That just goes to show they don't have the brand. They don't have the name that's most recognizable. All right, let's pull this up, right? So Miami, 6 of 7 now, 8, 9. Hey, that's like the Grinch thing. Hey, 6, 7, 8, 9. What are the odds? Anyways, 11 and 6, 9 and 8. Again, fine, right? Lost wild card. They haven't won a playoff game since. Did they make it here? 2000? It's been a while. I couldn't tell you what happened in these seasons. Obviously, first divisional. Gosh, they were the 1 seed. They were a top seed with an 11 and 5 record. They had some good runs here, but I don't see. Look, at best, they won a playoff game around here, probably, considering they're in the divisional. But the point is, it's been a minute. It's been a long time since Miami's won a playoff game. And that's a shame. It's crazy to think the Finns dropped 70 on the Broncos 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. They're very impressive game, very impressive season, but it's not enough. I feel good teams have just figured out a scheme. That's a very accurate point, and it feels like anytime he goes head-to-head with a coach that knows what he's doing, exactly, he gets out-coached. He gets out-disciplined. He gets out-hustled. Miami had some dumb penalties. I forgot to talk about this. And this was a little bit, controversial. On Jordan Brooks, right? It was around somewhere in the second quarter. Jordan Brooks comes out there, and he makes a really... Or no, it's not in the second quarter. I want to say third. Jordan Brooks comes out, big tackle, on third down, stops him. Steelers have to punt. And he kind of does like a... I wonder if I can be on camera. Just kind of like a, he just stands up and just kind of looks down. They call it taunting. It's a bad call, but it makes sense that it happened in Miami, right? You'd be less surprised finding out it happened in Miami than, say, I don't know, Detroit. Or that's a random example, but any well buttoned up, team wouldn't do that stuff. It really felt like a ticky-tack call, though. I think I'm poking holes because Miami did have a lot of penalties tonight overall. They played a pretty sloppy game. Jordan Brooks, though, honestly, that call was nonsense. I don't even know why I'm pointing that out as an example. But yeah, so that's basically all my notes. That was it. It's literally all I had to say. Dolphins were a tough watch tonight. Yeah. Exactly. They were a tough watch, and Mike McDaniels needs a new change of scenery, I think, yeah, this might be one of those mutual part ways situations where both sides recognize it's just not working. To be honest, drop a like if you haven't already, by the way. Mike McDaniels is the weird egg from that Shanahan coaching tree. Well, jury's still out on Mike LaFleur. I mean, he's a great coach. I'm not saying he's not, but do we really think Mike LaFleur's ever going to win a championship? I know we have some Packers fans in here, but do we really think that's going to happen? Matt LaFleur, I mean. I always mix them up. Matt LaFleur I'm talking about, not Mike LaFleur, who also could do it, but it'd be tougher. Taunting is the dumbest penalty in all sports. Maybe Tennessee would be interesting. That would be sick. That would be weird, but it would be sick. I think it would be a good thing for Cam Ward. I feel like... Cam Ward played in Miami. Mike McDaniels coached in Miami. There you go. I wonder how that would match up. Honestly, that's kind of a cool fit, though. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. If you got to do something with Miami, you may as well have a guy who's looking for a quarterback to kind of sculpt. Mike McDaniels hasn't had... I keep saying McDaniels. It's McDaniel. My bad. I thought it was McDaniels. But Mike McDaniel has a... he's never had his quarterback to mold. Tua, kind of. He signed on in 2022. Tua got drafted in 2020. But, I feel like Cam Ward is his guy that he can really shape. And Cam Ward has... I don't know if this is a good take or not, because I'm not a college football watcher. But I feel like Cam Ward is a lot more trait-based than Tua. And there's a reason Tua fell to 6th in the draft and was the third quarterback taken, although Bama was sick. And I think Cam Ward just got more traits. He's got a strong arm. I feel like Mike McDaniel can do a lot with that. All the sideline shots of LaFleur is always when he's mad. Exactly. Not Mr. Composed, not Mr. Playoff Success. Jury's still out on LaFleur. That's all I'm saying. Kara, the guy that your team wants to be head coach, so I wouldn't bite the hand that feeds you, Hannah. Well, I mean, the jury's still out on Jeff Hafley. We'll see. We'll see how he does without Micah. Isn't it McDaniels? Apparently it's McDaniel. I thought it was McDaniels, but as you can see, the proof is right here. McDaniel. Weird night we're having. But yeah, so I think that's the that's the main crux of what I want to say, to be honest with you. I mean, Miami's stuck. I think. Do I have to talk about the Steelers? I mean, they're the Steelers. They're 8-6. They'll probably win one out of these three. Go 9-8. The dream is still alive. Go 9-8, and then maybe make the playoffs, maybe not. Do the Steelers have any kind of shot as a wild card team? Because I hope not. Again, we need the Ravens to win, and I have no bias. I don't dislike the Steelers. I just dislike watching the Steelers, so I don't want to see them win. I don't want to see them successful. I really hope Baltimore beats them. Not that Baltimore's been that great of a team to watch this year either. Doesn't really seem like the Steelers have much of a wild card route. It's division or bust. Muhammad is here. I would love Mike McDaniel in Tennessee. Besides Mike McCarthy, there isn't really any offensive minds on the market. Exactly. And Mike McDaniel's a good line of experience, but also, you know, looking for his get back. I think that'd be a fun hire. It would definitely be a curveball. I don't think a lot of people would expect it, but I'd be a fan personally. Take B-Flow, you'll get your wish of front four always blitzing. We'll do it. Well, again, he's suing the Giants, so that's out. Always bites us in the ass. Maybe not in this game, but in general. I like the way he runs his offense. Fair enough. Again, on bad teams, they look sick. And hey, if you're a coach and you like coaching against bad teams specifically, then there's no better spot for you to go than the AFC South. I mean, there's no division they've been good this year. Not saying they haven't, but there's no consistent division that's terrible like the AFC South. Things might change, but as it's been the last, I don't know, decade or so, probably longer, AFC South, get some free wins. Take the top of the division. But this year, things have changed. Jags are back. Texans are back. Just the Titans weren't invited to the party. Anyway, we got Muhammad here. I'm doing great. Muhammad, hope you're doing all right. So we're going to go 9-8. Hope they'll finally let Tomlin walk, but the standard is the standard. I don't think so. I think, again, Tomlin's done enough to keep his job. We are kind of assuming that Mike McDaniel is going to get fired. There's a chance he keeps his job in Miami. There's a chance, but doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't feel like it. We'll see, but it would be cool if Miami went a different direction. Just try something new. They've got some talent. Just respin it. You know, it's just something's not working here. Toss out the recipe and try something else. I think that's the way to go. Miami, again, hasn't won a playoff game in at least 20 years plus. I'd love to see them do that within the next 100. So recovering from the mic incidents and just studying how you do, Muhammad. There it is. Got a little combo going. Honestly, NFC South is worse. Maybe. But I feel like consistently over the years, NFC South has kind of earned a little more respect. But they're both kind of toss-ups. But the Saints are frisky. We know that much. The Saints are frisky. Celtics lost. Mike Vrabel, Mike McCoy, Mike Mularkey, Mike Munchak. There you go. Celtics lost after an 8-hour shift. Nothing says fun like this. 1972 is the last ring. That's right. The undefeated Larry Zonka, 14-0 Miami Dolphins. Yeah, so the Steelers, again, Steelers are going to keep existing. Someone said something about Arthur Smith. Yeah, Steelers are going to keep doing their thing. Winning, losing. Just can't be bothered to care at this point. You know, we're 15 weeks in. The Steelers are going to Steeler. I mean, with this song and dance, we've been discussing the same old Steelers for... Gosh, man, they're another team that hasn't won a playoff game in a while, so I'd be really surprised if either of those narratives changed, unless, of course, they play each other, which would not happen. I would assume whoever the Steelers play in the postseason, they will lose to, besides maybe LA, besides maybe the Chargers. But again, the Steelers beat the Chargers 25-10, so, or they lost to the Chargers 25-10, so even then, it's, you know, not too exciting. We'll see, though. We will see. Taylor Shucks 3-3 as a starter. Y'all better watch out. They got their guy. Saints are out of the QB market. Giants still have the number one pick, by the way. If you haven't checked Tankathon yet, don't worry, because I know how to Google the website. New York Giants, obviously in the first pick. Vegas, Tennessee, Cleveland, Jets, QB needy team. Cleveland, we'll see. Do we think the Browns are going to address quarterback in the offseason? Considering that the Shador thing kind of feels like it's, you know, winding down a little bit. We're all kind of settling down. Shador's not amazing. He has a rookie quarterback. We're giving him his breaks, giving him time, but he has a 5th round pick. You don't have to build your entire franchise around him. Does Arizona want to address quarterback? Maybe. you know, the more I look at it, it's kind of just Vegas and Jets. And maybe that's enough for the QB needy teams that'll trade up with the Giants. Unless maybe the Rams want to do something crazy with that Falcons pick. Or maybe the Bengals trade Joe Burrow. And then, now I'm getting crazy. Maybe the Bengals trade Joe Burrow to the Giants. What would be the point of that? So yeah, just ideas are running rampant. We're looking on Tankathon. It's going to be all right. Buffalo probably the 5 seed. Probably. Patriots fans are giving Buffalo their respect now. It's funny. NBA again, NBA not interested. Too much in the playoffs. OKC making the West meh. Can't disagree with you. Even though I'm looking into Muhammad and Stoner Cat's conversation, which is hilarious. It's like 2008 when the Steelers won. That's right. They won a Super Bowl that year. Jesus, that was their last playoff win. That's crazy. Hard Knocks Shador is the only thing left for him. Well, it's the NFC East right now. Is anybody watching Hard Knocks? Man, I literally made a video saying we should watch Hard Knocks, and I have not been keeping up with the NFC East Hard Knocks. I don't know why. This QB class is pretty weak, so I don't know if the Browns address QB in the draft. I know this is really falling apart. The Giants' plan to trade down is really only going to work if they have the number 1 pick, which is a shame because I really would like the Giants to get more picks. I'm good with the 7th pick. I don't know what to draft, but yeah, it's, you know, I think that would work for the Saints. 7th pick, draft literally anyone. Draft someone talented. That would be my advice to the Saints at the 7th pick. Skill position would be cool. Just, you know, maybe a big name. I mean, they addressed offensive line, right, with Kelvin Banks. I think he's been okay. Heard good things about Kelvin Banks, so that's something. Why not stream and review Hard Knocks like The Bachelorette? I could, but I just don't think there's enough there. I appreciate the idea. But honestly, I'd rather just, you know, stick to the football talk because I don't think Hard Knocks is, you know, it's one thing if you watch it. It's another thing if you have to talk about it. Just be like, oh, Jalen Hurts said a prayer before the game. It's like that's really the only behind the scenes you get with Hard Knocks. Not a bad show, though. Just not a great one to commentate on. What is the upcoming draft strong in? Last year's running back, I think. Here's the thing. If the Chiefs are picking around that 10 to 12 range, maybe 10 to 15, don't want to be too specific, I feel like they're decently in play for Jeremiah Love. I think the Chiefs could easily sit around the early 10s or I guess early teens and sit there and take a really just fun offensive player. And there's a shot Jeremiah Love falls out of the top 10, I feel like, considering how Ashton Janty did this year, considering just, I don't know, the way running backs are valued. I think it's possible. And if the Chiefs get Jeremiah Love, I think that would solve a lot of problems for them. But John's talking about the Saints getting Love. So this is maybe I need to study the draft more and understand who else is in this one. Wide receivers are good this year, especially at the top. The Chiefs could go wide receiver. A lot of teams could go wide receiver, to be honest. Saints would be a fun team. Draft a wide receiver. If the Saints got like a Jordan Tyson, just a tried and true X, get their Mike Evans, that'd be fun. So if Tyler Shuck can lead the Saints to a winning record, I'll be the happiest man alive. Is that possible? Can it happen? It cannot happen. Saints are 4-10. If Tyler Shuck played the Giants, we would have lost by 40. So you can hang your hat on that. It is a bummer talking about the draft this soon, but as is life as a Giants fan. All right, Hunnis Hill. Let's do it. Big Phil's already on here, so I think we got everyone. Yeah, let's just get right into it. I think we have every quarterback, unless, yeah, I don't think I'm missing anyone. We got Burrow on here. All right, let's do it. Welcome. Let me, that's not the music I was looking for. Hunnis Hill. Change the song to some random PlayStation mix. I really gotta get some sound alerts ready here. But anyways, I'm referring to next year. That makes sense. That would be sick. A 9-8 Saints team led by Tyler Shuck. I feel like this chat's filled with fans of bad teams. Most of us talking draft at this point. Yeah, I mean, John, you should be talking about your quarterback. Talking about your future, man. Because this guy, 9, is going places. But let's do it. Okay, unlimited. Russ, Mitch, Phil Rivers. Okay, here's the thing with Phillip Rivers. He had pretty good ball placement. He was pretty accurate. He was decently accurate. And for that, I don't know where to put him. I'm not going to put him in really terrible, but watching Phillip Rivers move was too much for me. And he did throw a touchdown. I think most of us could have done that. But again, Phillip Rivers is an NFL quarterback who almost beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. They covered the spread. He completed some passes and threw a touchdown. Better than most of these guys. We'll put him in terrible and leave it at that. Russ is sticking. Mitch, obviously. All these guys are sticking besides Brady Cook, who... I'm going to put Cooper Rush ahead of both these squares. Honestly, Brosmer was too high to begin with. Brady Cook plays like a dweeb. I mean, he did throw a touchdown, so I guess if you get credit for throwing a touchdown, then you could just move up to Mal already. But yeah, Brady Cook's not fun to watch. And if you're playing fantasy still, which good for you, man, that's sick. Streaming against the Jets defense is smart. Brady Cook's not good at all. Please move Mariota up a bit. He did okay. Oh, believe me, we'll get to Mariota. I watched that whole game. We'll get to Mariota. Looked like he couldn't fit his arm past his shoulder. Leave him in unlimited, but it's not indicative of his playing ability. Phillip Rivers throws a softball, but he is accurate. That's exactly it. I'm keeping him in terrible. This list has to have some integrity. So we're gonna put Phil Rivers in terrible. Everybody else is gonna stay the same. Although I would have liked to see some Quinn Ewers tonight. I don't know why not. I mean, the Dolphins gave up midway through the fourth quarter anyways. May as well play the young guys at that point. Red shirt Tua if you want. Rest of these guys, no one played besides Kirk, who, dare I say, outplayed how Michael Penix, any game Michael Penix has had all season. But he also outplayed Baker Mayfield. And that's kind of crazy. Beating Baker Mayfield on Thursday Night Football. In Tampa Bay, no less. Kirk Cousins deserves some credit. I'd be lying if I put him anywhere above pretty bad. But we'll stick him at the end of this tier, and we'll get to this in a second. I will say I'm probably going to take someone out of here just for the aesthetic. Well, actually, we'll get to this. We'll get to this. All right. Who else is on here? We got Penix, who hasn't played. Kirk's going to go ahead of him for sure. But again, we're not just going to focus on Kirk here. Kyler, again, hasn't played. Can't move him. Tyrod, Milton. I don't know why Joe Milton is so damn high in this list. You know, the more I think about it, the more I just don't think this is realistic. I mean, the guy's fun. He's a backup quarterback. But is he really on the same level as Aaron Rodgers and Mac Jones and Cam Ward? That I don't know. Joe Flacco, another player that hasn't played. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on these backups. Cam Ward. You know, the Titans hung in there. They did. I think we got Ann here, right? Ann Volix. Like, the Titans hung in there. And they had a fun time. Tyler Shuck should move up. Believe me, Tyler Shuck will move up. He'll even the score in this tier list. But Cam Ward, he hung in there. And for that, I think he deserves some credit. Not too much credit, but I'll put him ahead of Mac Jones. Okay? You might think, oh, you're putting him ahead of Tyler Shuck? How could you do that? Well, Tyler Shuck is making his way to the big leagues. He's getting to meh. 3-3 as a starter. He had his Tom Brady moment, as Hank called it. At this point, move backups to terrible. I mean, maybe, but I mean, Joe Milton's fun still. We like Mac Jones. I think we're in a good place now we're single line on every tier. The anxiety has gone down. We are good. I just felt the need to hyperextend and flip the list on its side. Let's be honest, pretty bad is pretty bad. We don't need to split hairs here talking about Mac Jones or Aaron Rodgers. But yes, Tyler Shuck is moving up. We got Hank fired up. Meeps fired up. Let's go. Let's go. Who dat? But yeah, where does Kirk Cousins go in this tier? I'd put him ahead of Kyler at this point. It seems like he's really gelling with this Falcons offense, even without Drake London. Ahead of Joe Milton, Joe Flacco. We'll put him right there, right below Mac Jones. So Kirk Cousins has moved up an entire tier, beating Baker Mayfield in prime time on the road. Should probably get him more credit, but we've seen some bad games out of Kirk Cousins. No idea how to rank him, but same tier as Jalen Hurts feels about right. Aaron Rodgers had a good game. I want to give him credit. I do. I want to move him up, but I also just don't see the purpose. We'll do it, though. We'll move Aaron Rodgers up to meh. And to be quite frank, because of that, I just think this meh tier is going to get really bad if we add Marcus Mariota. It is. Marcus Mariota had a good game. He did. But I think our main problem was the Commanders ran the ball all over us. Let me double check Marcus Mariota's stats just to make sure that I didn't miss some MVP-like performance here. But 29-21 against the New York Football Giants. 10 for 19, he completed 10 passes. Again, for 211 yards, though, and a touchdown. Also got 43 on the ground. Not a bad game. Beating the worst team in the NFL is something. Remember when you guys said it was crazy that I put the Giants as the worst team in the NFL, and then for the past 2 weeks, they've literally been the worst team in the NFL? Yeah, that being said, Marcus Mariota, he will he will progress by default, because to everyone's dismay, beating the Raiders as convincingly as the Eagles did is going to move Jalen Hurts up to the 9 tier. That's right. The 9 tier has 2. Jalen Hurts and JJ McCarthy. Who's better? You decide. All right. Otis is here. I'm not asking for a week, just one space. Well, again, Marcus Mariota has, by default, we should do mock draft Mondays. We should. I need to study the draft more, but we should. Should we just do a mock draft Monday where me just matching people on the PFF thing? All right. We'll do that after this. I like that idea, actually. We're going to try that. But Marcus Mariota moves up by default, Muhammad. I just, beating up on the Giants just isn't going to get the crazy praise, but top of this tier, looking to move up with another dub. If Marcus Mariota can beat the Eagles, then he will move sky high, well above Jalen Hurts. Let's see it one more week. I'm making this sound like the pandering hill. Anyways, where do these guys go? Well, they're not going to move very high up. What I will say is Tyler Shuck is fun. I want to put him ahead of Purdy, but I'm not going to. I'm just not going to. He probably should go ahead of Jameis, just considering their records, but I don't think that it's fair, honestly. I think what I need to do, to be quite frank, is right there. I think that's about perfect. I think that's it. That is it right there. Aaron Rodgers still below Jameis Winston, and fair. Tyler Shuck just ahead of him. Again, winning games. Tyler Shuck. Who you going to call? Davis Mills didn't play, obviously. He's going to stick. Purdy, did he play? Did he not? I couldn't tell you. Apparently, actually, I think I'm actually a little wrong on that one. I think Brock Purdy had a crazy game. Again, I'm pretending like I was following this Titans-Niners game very closely. I was, of course, not. Brock Purdy, decent game. I don't want to, in good faith, just move Brock Purdy up all willy-nilly. That being said, Jaden Daniels isn't playing. Tua played like garbage. Jacoby Brissett is dying down a little bit. Bryce Young lost to the Saints. We'll move Brock Purdy to the top of meh. And that's that. That is that. We got Chris Brown. Haven't been in the streams because midterm's coming up and work. No problem, Chris. The Bengals are looking good. They had a fun night. Happy to hear from you, man. With enough money, I could have the perfect tier. Look, I'm a Purdy and Shuck stan, but Shuck shouldn't be ahead of 13. Purdy played pretty freaking good. He did. And that's why Purdy is at the top of meh. I'm glad we're on the same page there, Meep. But yeah, no one wants Cousins' contract. Just seeing that. I do agree. I do agree with you. Muhammad wants Marcus Mariota at the end of meh. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Beat Jalen Hurts, and then we can discuss Marcus Mariota. Anyways. All right, moving on to the nose ball tier, which I don't know. Kind of want to rename to something, but Joe Burrow, man, I can't believe we're doing this. But if we're being honest, Joe Burrow said it himself. He said, if any other quarterback, if I played for any team today, they would have lost if I was their QB. That's not the right mentality to have. I'm going to move him down. I'm not going to do a whole thing. It's going to go right there. In between Bryce Young and Brock Purdy. I'm not ready to say Joe Burrow is worse than Bryce Young, although Bryce Young has had some good games. I'm not ready to say that. Joe Burrow's had a couple just terrible games this Sunday in particular. The CJ Stroud Texans looking good. They beat up on the Cardinals. Not much of a competition there. Burrow lost his love. Exactly. God, speaking of love, Jordan Love's going to be a really fun quarterback to rank. But CJ Stroud, he won. He beat the Cardinals, so credit where it's due. Bears also won. All these quarterbacks really beat up on bad teams. The only one that's really going to aggressively move down, and I'm not going to overreact to one bad Baker Mayfield game, although it does feel like he has kind of dropped off a lot, but he has dropped off accordingly within the rankings. He is now outside of the top 15. Baker Mayfield to the back end of this tier. I don't think there's going to be a lot of movement other than this. I don't want to do this. And Caleb Williams had a great game, by the way. Caleb Williams is going to move up by default because I don't want to do this. But Justin Herbert and Bo Nix are moving up on the hill. Our two least favorite quarterbacks are moving up. Today sucks, and I hate everything. We need more people in pretty good. I think that's a big reason for it. And within this, I think these guys are just kind of moving up within the tier by default. Caleb Williams obviously beating up on the Browns. Want to give him credit for that, but they had the ball a lot. They ran the ball extra efficiently. I like Caleb Williams. He's solid, but to say that he's in the same tier as to say he's in the same tier as Lamar Jackson isn't crazy at this point. I can't believe it. We're moving Caleb Williams up too. We're moving Caleb Williams up. Dak moved down. Dak will move down as well, for sure. But again, let's figure out who's moving up and down within pretty good. Because nose ball, this is, it's getting pretty thin. It's getting pretty shallow down here. So who's moving down? Patrick Mahomes, I don't want to rank him unfairly. We're going to put him in rest and power. I know some people aren't going to like that. Him being in the same tier as Dan Jones. At the end of the day, look, he got hurt. I don't want to dunk on the guy. He would have moved down to nose ball. That's exactly what I was thinking, but it just didn't go. This one's also going to hurt. Hope you're sitting down for this one. Jackson Dart is moving to the back end of nose ball. He has not played well. He's put up good numbers. He's put up really good numbers. Eye test has been less impressive. He's missed some deep passes in particular. He hasn't been as exciting to watch. I think it's more about the team. It's got to be. I'm obviously a huge Jackson Dart fan. I'm excited for the future with this fella, but these last few games have just been a little less exciting. Mike Kafka is a demon and should never coach again in this league. Fire Zach, deport Duke Tobin, fire Al, beat me with a brick. There you go. It's a really grainy picture of Tyler Shuck. I gotta fix it. Yeah, well, it's a cool user. Oh, that's right. You guys are going. Chris is leaving. See you, Chris. Drop a like. Burrow's losing his love of the game. He's not motivated to play. I think he doesn't look like his $275 million self. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's rank the pretty good quarterbacks, right? I hate doing this. I do. I absolutely hate doing this. But Bo Nix, he played a great game. He did, and I don't want to give him much credit, but he definitely played better than Lamar. And the Lions lost again. So there you go. Bo Nix, right there. And he did beat Jordan Love. If we're being completely fair, he did beat Jordan Love. And I wasn't planning on moving Jordan Love down. I will not put Bo Nix in elite. I will not do it. But he's moving to the top of pretty good. Caleb's going to stick at the end of this tier, along with Justin Herbert. Lamar, they're winning. He doesn't feel like himself. He's definitely not playing fully healthy. I still like him better than Herbert, but that's more of an indictment on Herbert than anything. And Jared Goff, again, the Lions put up points. How many turnovers did Jared Goff have? Again, don't remember every stat that happened. No turnovers, right? No fumbles, no picks. A few incompletions and nothing on the ground, but a decent game from Jared. So stuff. God, I hate Bo Nix. Seriously. I miss the Dart scat connection every week. That's what I mean. He lost his buddy. What is Batman without Robin or Alfred? I guess Alfred would be Andrew Thomas. Anyways. Okay. So this is the pretty good tier. I think. Shoot, man. This hill's getting tougher and tougher. Nose ball is getting thinner. Meh is really building itself out. Tua! I forgot to move Tua down. Tua, oh my God, is moving way down. Yeah. Pretty bad. There you go, Muhammad. He's ahead of Tua. There you go. Marcus Mariota is ahead of Tua. Yeah. Okay. Why not? And I feel like the space is opened up. I'm just going to put Mariota in meh. I'm just going to do it. Why not? I'm going to do it. This is my list, damn it. We're going to make the rules. Muhammad wants Marcus Mariota in meh. We're doing it. Lives have been changed. Earth has been shattered. Okay. Sam Darnold moving down to pretty good. I want to like you, Sam. I do. But one quarterback threw a touchdown pass in this game, and it was not Sam Darnold. So, going to be tough to move him ahead of a lot of these guys, to be honest with you. He's doing more with Justin Herbert's doing more with less. Right there. Hurts. It hurts to say. It really does. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold didn't play well. Why is Mahomes next to Vikings legend Dan Jones? I knew that would piss some people off. Uncreative is here. Because again, the man got hurt. Let's have some respect. Let's give the man a moment. For the record, he would be a nose ball, which is a real kick in the teeth. Scandar are more Beavis and Butthead than Batman and Robin. Come on. Come on. Let's be fair here. They were awesome. Keep Sam above Boskett. I'm keeping this how it is. I'm tempted to move Bo Nix to Elite, but my heart won't let me. And so this is pretty good as kind of lock and barrel right now until further notice. That being said, Dak moving to the back end of this tier. Drake May moving behind Josh Allen and behind Trevor Lawrence. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I do still have some self-respect. Yeah, man. I will not be trapped by the Gale propaganda. I will not be galed right now. Not tonight. I think Trevor Lawrence being the 4th best quarterback in the NFL is enough. I think that's enough. He's high enough. All right. Drake May still ahead of him. Dak just had a down night. More importantly, he just didn't score when he needed to. Josh Allen came back furiously. Not even his best game, but he did what he needed to do. Won the game. Not much of a surprise, by the way. Matt Stafford is going to stay in best. The last reveal of the evening. What do we do with this top tier? Like I said, the Shador thing is dying. I miss it, but I'd be lying if I said he's perfect at the top of the tier. And that's about it. Used to be perfect. There it is. If we could go back a week, man, I would. But Shador's look bad. And I am not happy about it. So this is it. This is the tiers. The quarterbacks are kind of separating themselves a little bit. At least at the top. And then the middle of the road guys are the middle of the road guys. To be honest, pretty good and meh are really filling out at this time of the year. I don't really know what to do about that other than just kind of be honest. Legendary tier for Shador. Again, it used to be legendary. Used to be. But that dream has now died. Rest in power to Pat Mahomes. We might move him and Dan Jones just off the list eventually because we are cluttering the elite tier with a bunch of nonsense. I'm moving this down one, actually. There it is. That's better for the aesthetic anyways. I like how that looks. And here we are. This is it. The finalized tier. 5th round for a reason. Make a tier called 5th round. I guess. Fair enough. Again, you want to make your own? Add me on tier maker. Hunna's Hill. Week 15. Done. Saved and uploaded. Poor Shador, man. Poor Shador. Anyways, okay. Want to do a PFF mock draft, and then, there's not too much to discuss tonight, fellas. So, might call it after that. PFF mock draft. The simulator. All right, we're going to take every team, and we're going to enter this draft. Now, okay, guys. I want the record to show here. This is not... I am going into this very blindly. All right? If I match if I match need... So if I'm like, Titans... Or let's just go later in the draft here. Wow, the Chiefs at the 11th pick. Okay, let's just say the Vikings, right? Oh, the Vikings need a running back. Well, let's see who the running backs are. Well, I wouldn't have them take Jonah Coleman. But like, the Vikings need a center. I wouldn't have them take a center. Maybe I'll be better at this than I think, actually. Vikings need a DB. Let's give them Mansour Delane. And you guys are like, Mansour Delane doesn't even have a 1st round grade. I don't know. Shoot, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to pretend like I know things on the internet. Okay. Shador's our fallen messiah. That's a better name. Welcome to the stream, Reina. By the way, college news, Diego Pavia is definitely not making it to the NFL. He's crying on social media, looking really bad, destroying with little hope. Oh my God. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Is he here, by the way? He is. No child left behind. Besides Diego Pavia. Here's the thing. I really liked this guy about a year ago. As someone who doesn't watch college football, anytime I see a player that I like, I will remember them forever. Gardner Minshew, player that I really liked and thought would be solid. Couldn't believe he was a 7th round draft pick, and here we are. He's still playing games. Do I deserve credit for that? Not really. I didn't know much about Gardner Minshew's game. I liked his look and I liked his stats. He had, I want to say, the most passing yards ever for a collegiate quarterback. Maybe it's been broken since then. But Gardner Minshew put up numbers. But the point is that about a year ago, I saw Diego Pavia play and I thought, I like this guy's style. You know, he runs well. He's fun to watch. And damn it, college football needs more fun to watch players. I didn't know that he was a real insufferable person. I didn't know that he was a really annoying and frustrating human being. Because about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or last week, I was like, I like Diego Pavia. He's cool. I have been following this season. I didn't know that he led all this success, his 12 games played, his 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 picks. I didn't know that all that success at Vanderbilt, beating up on teams like CSU and Missouri, who may or may not be a good football school, I don't know. The point is that Diego Pavia used to be cool, used to be a big, cool guy, big man. Now he's just... You give Shedeur Sanders' personality to Dylan Gabriel. That's messed up. I think Shedeur is actually a little more calm and a little more level-headed than Diego Pavia, from what I've seen. Putting out a story saying F them voters after not winning the Heisman. In a pretty obvious race, by the way. Not a great look. And I've never seen a quarterback do something like that, especially in the modern era where it feels like everyone's PR trained. Hell, I feel like I'm PR trained. So, yeah. Diego Pavia. Liked him. Now I don't. Eliminated the Chiefs. Minshew's literally on par with Tom Brady. He's perfect. Has a cool mustache. Cool name. Eliminated the Chiefs in the playoffs. Exactly. Exactly. Minshew's awesome. We all love Minshew. They're both short. Exactly. Pavia's going to get the Sanders treatment, aka falling down draft boards like a rock. But again, he's not ranked in the first round. According to PFF, again, this is very loose estimates. 210 ADP. I'm not assuming this guy's going to have a turnaround first round draft, make it to the first round draft season, unless the Raiders are involved. The Raiders select Diego Pavia, second overall. All right, let's do it. But yeah, so I used to like Diego Pavia. That has since ended. All right. Say the Giants do pick at number 1. Feels frisky. A lot of people have said the common trade is with the Rams, so the Rams can get their quarterback successor for Matt Stafford. The other thing I've seen a lot is going to be the Jets, the New York Jets, who, you know, they have an extra first-round pick. They need a quarterback, and they're gonna move heaven and earth to do it. Giants have a history of trading with the Jets, and I will not make this trade too often for the rest of mock draft season. But to get us out the woods early, I'm trading with the Jets. I'm going to assume the Giants trading with the Jets. Cardinals also interesting. Saints not as much anymore. Rams could be something. Hell, if Miami wants to get crazy, they could really take a swing. But it feels like among quarterback needy teams, we have the Raiders, the Jets, Cardinals are a maybe again, and then Rams, and that's about it. So Hank is leaving. See ya, Hunter. That's my favorite thing. Peace. See ya, Hank. With the 5th pick, the Jets select Diego Pavia. Yeah, we got to get through this actually a lot quicker. I'm like really lagging on this one. All right. Jets move 5 and 18 for the Giants' number 1 pick. And hopefully a little bit more, to be honest with you. I'd like the Giants to get at least one more pick out of that. Maybe like a 3rd in 2027. Maybe like a pick swap. I don't know. Something like that. Cool. Trade has been accepted. And the New York Jets take our guy. I'd like to give the glory to God, Fernando Mendoza. And the Raiders are fine with this. The Raiders are completely fine with this. Because they wanted Dante Moore anyways. They figure, hey, we're going to sit here. We're going to take our guy, 2nd overall. We're going to be okay with Mendoza or Moore. We're not going to move up. Again, this is assuming the Raiders have the 2nd pick. The Giants play the Raiders still. That game's going to be a bloodbath. We'll find out what happens draft positions there. But as it stands now, I think the Raiders would be happy with Dante Moore as their QB of the future. Maybe that's too early. I don't know. Titans. Titans are a team that really could benefit from moving down. But who would they move down with? The quarterbacks are pretty much off the board. I'm not going to mock Ty Simpson too early. And it feels like a lot of these guys have had pretty bad draft seasons, just judging by where they're going ADP-wise. I, again, haven't watched, but damn. I thought Klubnik had at least some first-round buzz. He's not going there. Nuss, same thing. Sellers isn't going to go in the first round, apparently, so that's great. Clearly, everyone hates, but the Giants will pick kickers and punters, GN Hank. I don't like the Giants Jets trade. Already in position to take Ty Simpson, who sucks, but Mendoza ain't some generational talent. You make blockbuster trades to get. But I don't think the Jets are going to be losing sleep over missing out on pick 18. I just think they have the most firepower. And if that's your quarterback, if you like this Mendoza guy, and the Jets can very easily talk themselves into Mendoza, he seems like he interviews really well. I think it makes a lot of sense. Feels like a slam dunk. New York to New York. Who do the Titans draft? Well, I think if you're the Titans, Ruben Bain, not really interesting anymore. We're going to go Arvell Reese. You take the best defensive player off the board, and you keep building. I also would have liked Jordan Tyson there, but I feel like pick 3 is a little high. If the Titans can move down, more power to them. I don't think they will. What do the Browns do? Well, what do the Browns do? Feels like the Browns need a lot. Their defense is stout. I don't think they would take a pass rusher. They addressed interior defensive line with Mason Graham. But it doesn't feel very Browns to go wide receiver. Wow, remember when the Giants were dark horse for the playoffs? Good times. Yeah, well, those days are gone, long gone. Rams, Cards, Steelers, only teams to trade with the Giants. The Steelers did it. That would be crazy. Can you make a parlay for the correct draft order? I don't. Not that I know of. At least not on the main apps. But if you want to try something on Bovada, give it a spin. Okay. Again, I don't know much about these guys. I'm done pretending like I know what's going on. With the 4th pick of the draft, the Cleveland Browns, they stay on the offensive side of the ball. I can't believe I'm doing this. They're going Mekhi Lemon. I just don't think the Browns are going to take Jordan Tyson. I don't know why. There's just something about it. He just doesn't match. He just does not match the Browns repertoire. And I just realized it should have been Cardell Tate. Carnell Tate would have made a whole lot more sense. So you know what? Actually, we're going to restart this whole thing. That pisses me off. Every time I do this, it pisses me off when I make the wrong pick. I just remembered Carnell Tate is a person that the Browns would probably draft more likely. So we're just going to do this again. Start the draft. What? I did not mean to do that. I just glitched PFF. That's amazing. This is fun. This is really good quality streaming right now. I feel really great about this. I'm messing with the stupid site. All right. You start the draft. We're just going to force a pick. We're just going to force a trade with the Jets. Plain and simple. Done. All right. Jets go Mendoza. Raiders go Dante Moore. By default. Titans go with our guy, Arvell Reese. And the Browns take Carnell Tate. And that is the last reset I will do. Carnell Tate. There you go. Wires here for sure. Titans literally top 5 on everyone's board. He could go top 3. I don't disagree. I just don't see him being a Cleveland Brown with Carnell Tate is on the board. It just doesn't make sense to me. And the Giants are pissed because they wanted Carnell Tate. So they're going to have to settle, quote unquote, on Jordan Tyson. I just think if the Giants go wide receiver, it would be fun. Obviously, the Giants need a little bit of everything. Caleb Downs would work, but at pick 5 feels a little rich. Pass rusher doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We're not going to take a running back. Yeah. Cardinals could use, again, a little bit of everything. Obviously, their PFF needs are orienting them a little more towards the offensive side of the ball. And I think with that, there's not a lot of offensive line here. Although, I have heard smoke about Spencer Fano. I'm surprised he's fallen this deep on the PFF chart. But I do know that sometimes PFF's rankings are just flat out wrong. And I think the Cardinals, they just don't seem like they're down to take a big swing. They just missed on Marvin Harrison. I mean, didn't miss, however you want to slice it. I just don't see it here. I'm going to have them play it safe and go tackle. Spencer Fano off the board. And Ruben Bain is falling. He is falling. You guys have very much sold me that Ruben Bain is not the guy. And I don't think he's going to go here either. I think the Saints, with pick 7, they need offensive help. Mekhi Lemon is their guy. We got three wide receivers going in the top 7. Tyson's literally ranked ahead of Tate. He's not just salty, and I'm not biased at all. Yeah, Otis, I get that you're not biased. I have seen a lot more Carnell Tate to the Giants than Jordan Tyson, personally. I'd be cool with both, though they seem like great prospects. Again, I have not watched, so I don't know. Washington needs a young player. They need a young stud athlete. Obviously, everyone in the draft is young. I want to assume Ruben Bain Jr. Okay, so I feel like Ruben Bain, just an athletic freak. Just, again, I'm more just matching type and fit here. But yeah, Ruben Bain, Washington Commander. They missed with Chase Young. Let's see if they can figure it out here. The Bengals are sweating it. Bengals don't really know what they're looking at. And I don't know what the hell to do for the Bengals, to be honest with you. They need a few things. Obviously, they need a lot of trench help, but this doesn't really seem like much of a draft to do that for. I feel like Peter Woods matches their interior defensive line need. Stop the run a little bit. God knows they need help with that, so Peter Woods. Can't go wrong with a Clemson nose tackle. PFF grades are some nuclear formula projections. PFF are off sometimes. I completely agree. And sometimes I forget about names. Like Caden Proctor. I'm glad I looked down. See ya, Uncreative. Uncreative's leaving. This was fun. Got to go finish presentation. Haven't started yet. Love y'all. Yep. See ya, Uncreative. But yes. Man, I'm off with the chat tonight. Rams with the 10th pick. Rams need a lot. Again, I do foresee Caleb Downs taking a pretty steep fall because he's just a safety. Safeties fall. It happens. Bengals pick up another wide receiver after shipping off Higgins. Not a bad idea. I like it, but Peter Woods feels like a good fit there. I think for the Rams, quarterback is up there. Tackle is up there. But I think I'm going to go corner. I think I'm going to go DB. And I feel like out of all these guys, random dart throw, Gerard McCoy, what's his story? Again, we don't know. Now here's a guy. We just don't know. I don't know anything about these guys. Who's a better fit for the Rams if they do go corner and don't go quarterback? I've been saying Gerard McCoy or Mansour Delaney or Delaney. I don't know. Who's the better fit there? I have no idea who these guys are. I think I'm just gonna do the top 15. I have no clue. This is not even cool. I hate not knowing things. Yeah, man. I mean, the Rams could trade down, but I think all the quarterbacks are off the board. Unless the Rams say to hell with it and they take Ty Simpson. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean, anything is possible. That also feels maybe the Steelers could do that. I don't know. Didn't McCoy get hurt? Did he? Well, that sells me. That sells it right there. McCoy got hurt. Mansour Delaney, welcome to the Rams. And I've been saying it. Said it before, I'll say it again. Jeremiah Love is a Kansas City Chief. Just wanted that to happen. Forced it a little bit. I could also see Jeremiah Love going 7 to the Saints. Or, I mean, shoot, Washington could use him. It wouldn't make a ton of sense, but Washington could use him too. League explained Jamal McCoy's story yesterday. He was injured all season. Was elite, but will drop. Wow. Okay. Jeez, Otis. I mean, did you explain it here? I don't remember that. Rams could probably trade back if there's no QB there with someone and get someone else. They could, but it's tough projecting trade backs when it's not for a QB. It's very tough. Like last year, the Jackson Dart trade back was made a little more sense. God, I forgot Atlanta made that trade. Yeah, exactly. That was Atlanta's pick that LA has now. Vikings, pretty talented players staring them right in the face. Vikings grab Caleb Downs with the 12th pick. Replace Harrison Smith. Get a, anchor for that defense. Fun fit. Good day in Minnesota. Who do the Dolphins get? Well, the Dolphins could use a little bit of everything. If Jermod McCoy is hurt and will drop, then let's not force him there. Dolphins really could go anywhere. Goodness. I really do think the Dolphins really could use some heat on offense, but they just, and defense, honestly. The Dolphins are so thin. I think you can never go wrong with a pass rusher. If you're Miami here, Keldrick Falk is a guy Miami could use. Done deal. Quest again, trade the pick to the Lions again. We're going to have another Kyle Hamilton situation. But you like the pick, Caleb Downs. We were on the same page there. Dallas is pissed because they didn't get Jeremiah Love. They're also probably going to go pass rusher among these guys. Yeah, they're not even saying who's mostly drafted. Among these guys, David Bailey or Cassius Howell. We'll go Dave Bailey. Welcome to the Cowboys, fella. Ravens, another team, need defense. Really do. Someone that could stop the run, I think, is their most important need. Caden McDonald fits that mold, I'm assuming. Panthers. I think the Panthers will be picking later than this, but if they do pick here, I think it's going to be because their defense just didn't have the juice. Their offense has been addressed well enough. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to Bryce Young and whether or not Bryce Young can seal the deal. And with that, Cassius Howell is a player that's been here for a while. I just kind of want to move on. So we'll take Cassius Howell here. TJ Parker also getting consideration. Lions, Jermod McCoy right there. Simple. Giants, I've seen Avion Terrell mocked here a lot. We're doing it. Avion Terrell, I think. So we get a little run on corners there. Big run on defensive players in general here. Got 7 or 8 straight. And yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do. Kenyon Sadiq. Fun fit there. And then why not? Steelers, Ty Simpson. Done. All right. I think I'm going to call it there because I have no idea who these guys are. And I just, now this is just me just playing Tetris. Playing mock draft Tetris. And I refuse. I just straight up refuse. But yeah. So Steelers, Dolphins happened. This is also the mock. If anyone's wondering, can I just end it? Can I simulate to the end? Oh my God. Well, I guess not. Well, then I guess this is where we're at. We got it going. QB, Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson to the Giants. Fano, Makai Lemon, Ruben Bain, Peter Woods, and Mansour Delane. My top 10. Mendoza, Moore, Tate, Tyson, Simpson, Fano, Reese, Bain, Falk, and Lemon. Sure. Be happy with that scenario. I think that makes sense for both teams trading up in that equation. That works. But this is our top 10 here. And yeah, that's all. That's basically all, folks. I mean, this game happened and yeah, mock drafts, Hunna's Hill. Oh, let me update the Hunna's Hill here really quick. Bump, ba-da-da. There it is. Used to be perfect. Shador Sanders broke my heart. Anyways, so that's the Hunna's Hill. To be honest with you guys, like I said, I think I got a cold coming on or something. We'll be good. But I think I'm going to call the stream early. I will be here Thursday. Hope to see you guys then. I will be streaming after Thursday Night Football. As far as Saturday goes, we'll maybe have to miss that stream, which pisses me off because I love saying if there's football, there will be a Hunnaball stream. Of course, I will be out of town and not even within internet connection. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But if I could find a way to stream on Saturday, I will. But I'll figure that out later. But for now, hope you guys have a badass rest of your night. I mean, it's getting late, so, this game ended early. I guess the stream can end early as well, man. But yeah, long week ahead. So attack Tuesday, attack Wednesday, and attack Thursday. And we'll see you after that. So there you go. Our Thursday Night Football game, if anyone's wondering, is the Rams-Seahawks. And I don't know what the spread is right now. So let's look at that really quick. Muhammad's out of here tonight, Hunna. It is opening with the Rams as 1.5 point favorites. I like that action. Oh, but the Seahawks are home dogs. Ooh, that is interesting. Ugh. I don't know about that. 1.5 points, though. Is that really a home dog? Either way, less time on the CBS website. All-nighter for my finals. Well, then, man, pack a Red Bull and get into that flow state, Otis. Hell yeah. But until then, you guys have a kick-ass rest of your night. And I'm going to call the stream there. So thanks for watching. Drop a like. Hunnaball.